I think we're good.
Like I was talking about Brian Malloy. Howdy, y'all.
Yeah. Well, we have returned.
Welcome back.
It's been since what?
June,
Cool Spring.
yes.
So, yeah, it's been a busy summer. We were talking about before we hit the play button or record button or whatever that we've not had time to do anything.
Oh my gosh, this has been probably the busiest summer I've ever had to encounter.
Yeah. So that's probably what the entire podcast is going to be about, us ranting about not having time to do anything.
Right.
Have had time to buy stuff, just no time to
work on nothing.
do anything with anything.
No. Work.
So,
between work, life, kid,
yeah.
and then you work, life, and everything else.
Yep.
Dear Lord. This has been like the fastest summer ever. I mean, here we are, October already. It's like, where did it go?
I don't know. It's annoying. I know that because I had all kinds of plans of doing things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just none of it came to fruition.
There would be times that we were loaded up to go to a show, and something would happen, and it's just like, no, can't go.
I made time. The couple vacations that I did take, which were staycations, I did go fishing in West Virginia, but I based that around going to an auction.
Right.
Where I picked that little 2-horse York up at.
Yeah.
But, as soon as I get home and unload the truck and, 5-hour drive home from York, PA, unload the truck, go to bed, and then back to work. And we're shorthanded at work as far as just
I think everybody's shorthanded at work, period. Nobody wants to work. That's the problem.
Trying to hire, and I do all of our certifications for our new hires and certifications for locomotive engineers and things like that. So that's keeping me busy and trying to stay on top of that. And the restructuring we did at work, stuff goes to do people and trying to figure that out. And
well, the rail industry is
it's booming.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
So yeah, it's not fun.
The trash industry is kind of slow right now, but
yeah,
whatever. We'll see what happens in November.
Municipal waste, like C&D stuff, we haul a lot of C&D, and it's been kind of slow, but it's been nonstop.
What we're seeing in our business is, average Joe homeowner, they're running out of money.
Yeah.
It's just like
nobody's remodeling anything.
No, they're crunching down. They're only doing what they have to do.
Yeah.
Now insurance stuff is just like,
oh, I bet.
And big stuff that just throwing money at is just going crazy. But
the railroad I work for it's in a good spot. With we got 2 large trash customers.
That's good.
3 refineries, and then Intel's building the chip plant.
Oh yeah, is that what they're building with all these cranes and stuff down here? I've seen like 50 cranes in the air just outside of Columbus.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're on the east side, Intel's building a big chip plant.
That's what it is.
We've had a lot of cement companies wanting to bring stuff in by rail, and then fracking's coming back on the east side of Ohio. We've got a bunch of frack companies that are looking for a lot of space to unload a lot of cars because they go through tons and tons and tons of frack sand when they're doing that.
Absolutely.
So, definitely busy.
Yep. So kicking us off here, we lost a few good people this year since June.
Yeah, the most recent one, Jake Faith,
yeah. Out there at Cool Spring.
Be a different place wheeling in there and him not yelling at you where to park.
Yeah. No kidding.
Or chasing you down in the Cushman.
Right. His tuxedo. And we've lost a lot of others. I mean,
yep.
Some kind of expected, some not expected.
Unfortunately, some, like you said, some unexpected, young in their 50s.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. The hobby's constantly changing. And I was talking to a guy, I don't know, within the last few weeks. Him and I, he collects cars and stuff, but him and I kind of had the agreement that this younger generation have no imagination. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I got to thinking about that. I'm like, you're kind of right. You and I work on whatever. Hey, let's see if we can take this, and this, and put it together. And if it works, it works. If it don't, okay. Well, this newer generation, and we need them in the hobby. We do. Mm-hmm. But if they can't just get on eBay or Amazon or whatever and just hit the click and have it,
yeah,
they have no idea what to do. It's like, come on.
Well, and I had to reach back in my memory bank. I've been working on a cat dozer, and the magneto on it was giving me fits.
For the pony or whatever?
Yeah, for the pony.
Yeah, there's a pain in the ass anyway.
And I'd get spark, when it was out in atmosphere, put it in the engine, it wouldn't fire a compression. So something's wrong. So I changed the condenser, didn't fix it. I'm like, well, it's got to be coil or something stupid. So I ended up getting a coil. But, I had to get on I was looking for the cheapest place to get one from is the standard ignition. I ended up getting it through there, and we're so used to getting on like Amazon, typing in some keywords, bringing up what you want, and you just purchase it. Well, from them, for me to save $30 instead of going to Brillman's, where I could pick it, just add to cart, I had to call and talk to a human and give them the part number.
Oh no, a human!
I know. I had to call and talk to a person, give them the part number of what I wanted, and then I'm like, I haven't done this in a long time. It's point and click. You don't talk to anybody, and it was I'm like, that's kind of weird.
Sometimes I call about parts, and they're like, well, we don't have that, or that's not what we call it, or what is that? It's like, come on, dude. Well, Arby's. I went to Arby's. I went to Portland Swap Meet Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, I seen a nice picture of it.
Yeah, I got hosed on an oiler, but whatever. I had to have it. But I went to Arby's and I'm like, hey, I want a turkey sub combo. Well, we don't have a turkey sub. I'm like, but you do. Just take your French Swiss, French dip sub, make a turkey sub. Well, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, it goes back into saying no imagination.
Yeah, there's
like think outside the box a little bit here.
Right.
Well, and
then she had one of those voices like, we don't have that. I'm like, that's why I reach for the speaker and punch her.
Yeah. Well, and like what you do, as far as somebody your age, my age, setting up your buildings the way you do and having a show, and that's a big thing to put all that together.
It is.
And then me trying to move buildings here and have displays of stuff that hasn't been around for the last 70 years, throughout my property. And it takes a little bit of time and research just to figure out how you want something to set up and look, and to try to make it.
I'll move stuff 500 times before I'm happy with it, and I'm still not happy with it.
Shelves back here of oil well bits and pieces that have nothing that would be just scrap at an auction or something. And I went down to a lady's house in Southern High and literally brought back a 16-foot long trailer of just oil well things, oil field related stuff, just for the simple fact that I knew what most of it was, but at some point, whenever I get displays, because I want to do at least one shackle line display.
Well, that'd be cool.
Maybe two. And a lot of that stuff was the linkages and the connectors and all the little things like that. And, it just, you don't find it anymore.
No, you don't.
So I found a bunch of it, and I just bought everything that I could.
Well, you have to. I mean, like Justin Jenkins always says, you just buy what you can afford and sort your mistakes out later.
Yep, exactly.
You're doing all right.
You
got a full house here, Chase. I like it.
I need more floor space.
You'll never have enough.
No, I won't. I try to keep it out of the shop side on the other side behind the camera here.
No Portland swap meet, fall swap meet. It was okay. So much garden tractor stuff.
That's what I was going to ask. How's the garden tractors?
They were not in short supply, that's for sure. And some of that stuff was just, I've scrapped better shit than what some of those guys were selling up there, but everybody seemed to be happy. The weather was beautiful, and I mean, you couldn't ask for a nicer little turnout. I mean, it is what it is. I bought a couple pieces of literature and an oiler, and that's all I picked up. And then we got Cool Spring Fall coming up here this coming week. And it's hard to say what's going to adventure out of there,
Yeah, right now it's October 13th, so I'm on vacation this week, so hopefully
you get something done.
I edit this maybe tonight, and I can post it tomorrow.
Right.
People driving to Cool Spring and listen to it. And
yeah, they could, yeah.
If that happens, we're planning on doing another episode at Cool Spring.
Yes, on Thursday.
I don't know if it's going to be like an in-depth episode like we did with Ignition.
That was fun.
That was 3 hours. And for anybody that watched that, there's an hour that I cut out of that. If I can figure out how to edit it and make it make sense.
Right.
Because there's a little bit of shit talking in there that I don't want out to the world.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean,
but if I can figure out how to put that all together, there were some good topics because Murphy was talking about the what was that? Columbus he had got out of
West Manchester, yeah,
out of West Manchester, and had just telling the story about getting it and firing it up one last time while it was there, and some neighbor guy heard it running and come running over and to watch it.
I love talking to Murphy. I mean, half the stuff he talks about is way over my head.
Yeah,
but I it's interesting.
But he can dumb it down.
Oh yeah, he can.
He can. Not that he always does, but
no. But I mean, talking to him, it's like a racetrack. It's like
yeah, but
mind blowing.
Hoping to do another episode with Murphy and the other Kyle.
Yeah.
And whoever else maybe wants to join.
Right.
Just thinking about doing in the new Diesel Centralia building.
Yeah. They got some stuff moved in there now. Yeah.
Be a nice little backdrop and can talk about that because the man came from Germany.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Murphy went over. Murphy and
Jonah and somebody else.
I'm not sure who else went over, but that'd be a good story because that came from a doctor, I believe, wasn't it? A doctor over in Germany somewhere, and he had a very nice setup where that came out of, and the Cool Spring ended up with it. So it'd be neat. Just there's a lot involved. I think when we talked to Wayne about importing engines and things like that, there's a lot involved to get stuff through customs.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And things like that. So
speaking of, I was up at Wayne's back in July.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. See Louis? I
did. I got to start Louis. I got to touch Louis. Fiddled with Louis. I took his auto and his whatever that other thing was he had at the house up there. And
that cylinder?
No, it was an engine of some sort, one big flywheel thing. Took those up to him, and he had his little crank up thing going on, and that was a great time. His collection is out of this world.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he
has it displayed.
Awesome. I wanted to come home and just there again throw all my stuff away and start over, but he's been into it a long time. I mean, way longer than I have. So. Yeah. He's got some awesome stuff. If you ever get a chance, probably ought to go check it out. It's just a long drive.
He's got him and Trebner's got a book on the restoration of
two
Louis.
Books, actually.
Is it two?
Yeah.
I'd like to see one of them. They're all sold out.
I'll let you look at mine.
I'd like to look through it.
Yeah.
How do you...
My serial number is earlier than Joe Kovias's. That was an argument between me and Joe.
So you're saying you got on it before?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
signed an autograph.
I had to pay more money.
Oh. So, how do you title that book?
I don't know how he titled it, but it's going to be awesome because he did the Flame Ignition book, and that's an awesome book too.
Well, the restoration, a theoretical whatever he put for they broke the restoration down from like a scientific standpoint.
Oh yeah. Well, he's got drawings and all kinds of stuff. I can't think of the word, but
he's
got drawings and all kinds of stuff in that thing. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, knowing, like you said, the Flame Ignition book, knowing how it was done.
I was talking to him.
Only imagine how this one will be.
I was talking to him a week or so ago, and he was trying to figure out different fuels on how to. Louis is a different breed of an engine. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's totally weird. And he was trying to figure out how the flame can go in and ignite, but there's no carrier. Like, most slide valves use a carrier fuel, like hydrogen or whatnot. Louis don't use that. So you got to have a fuel that when that cuts off to burn, just that to go through those little. So he was playing with fuels, and I think he figured something out. And I don't know what he's using, but it's going to be cool. But it's loaded up. It's headed to Cool Spring tomorrow.
I'll be anxious to see it down there.
Yep, they're having the dedication on Thursday, I think. Yeah.
Is it going to stay there for a while?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's a to look. If you've seen the videos of it and seen pictures of it, that don't do it justice. This thing's huge. I mean, it's gigantic.
Yeah.
I bet it's 10 feet tall. I mean, I'm 6'4", and I had to reach to pull the flywheel.
Yeah,
but
That's definitely tall.
It didn't take much. We crank our asses off on this stuff. I mean, that thing is gone, running. Here we go. I'm like, this is what it's like to have nice stuff.
Nice stuff. It's got hours
running
and hours
stuff. Yeah.
Running. What's that?
Right.
I got a giant paperweight garage here.
That's all right. I do too.
As Greg Gotcha likes to call it, my stationary engine collection.
Yeah, we need to talk to him on the podcast.
Oh, if I could get him.
Bug.
Yeah, get away. If I could get him to do it, get him or get Jeremy. Like I said, Jeremy been a good one, but he's busy.
Yeah, Jeremy.
He's bashful.
He is. I don't know why.
He'd be a good one to talk about the oil field.
Yes, he's still in the oil field business.
Yep, he lives and breathes it. He's gone on a lot of picking adventures with me. Mm-hmm. Me and him, when I was still in high school, we pulled, there was 5 big oil field engines, 4 Bessemers, and a 25-horse Reed that were still on the original leases.
Right.
He had just graduated, and I might have been a junior, and mainly him, orchestrated pulling all this stuff out of the oil field. Mm-hmm. I got pictures of me and him standing next to the lowboy trailer full of oil field engines.
That's awesome.
I'm like 17, and he's like 19 maybe.
Right.
That's not typical stuff.
No.
I
was pulling that stuff out of Schoolcrafts down there back when I was in high school, and it was fun. I've never pulled one off the well itself, but
I got one. Actually, this week I went and looked at the building again to get measurements at Patton Brothers with the transfer pump on the side of it. I went this week. It's in a 12 by 16 building, and I was trying to figure out someplace close to the house where I was going to put it. And
right.
I need to get it pulled home. I'm going to do a video on that because, like you said,
that'd be cool.
Not many people have pulled anything off.
Well, and the thing is, a lot of this stuff 10 years ago was somewhat plentiful out there. Now it's getting to be scarce. And
yeah, I mean, around here,
there was somebody on the TikTok machine, had a video. They were up in what's the forest or whatever up in Cool Spring area.
Cook.
Maybe it was. Or maybe Allegheny.
Allegheny.
Yeah, they were up there somewhere.
There's Cook Forest. Cook Forest is up towards like Titusville.
Okay, this has been in Allegheny then.
Okay.
He had a video. He walked in a pump house, and there's like a 20-horse Marion sitting in there. And I'm like, holy crap, where's this at? I'm like, I should have sent him a message or something on his TikTok. Like, hey, what can we do to get this out? And I forget who it was because once you kind of, swipe on TikTok, that video's gone into oblivion of history forever.
Yeah, I don't have TikTok.
It's dangerous.
I'm not a communist.
Well, neither am I, but I like to watch people's videos of, engines and tractors. And
I never got into the TikTok and like in general, I got an Instagram account that has reels on it, kind of like TikTok. I'll watch him every now and then. But once I got into, not that I'm like real big into like YouTube,
right?
And compared to a lot of other people, but when you put a little bit of time and effort into like making a video, you just don't really care what anybody else is doing.
Well, I know.
Because I don't watch anybody else's stuff, like engine related, anything like that. I watch zero.
I've still never watched Blazing Saddles, so. But we have
Speaking of that,
we have Smokey and Bandit on repeat at the house. Bo just loves Smokey and the Bandit.
So Blazing Saddles was just played at our local theater here in Zanesville.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's a 50th anniversary.
Right.
And there was, I bet you, it was a Sunday night at like 7 o'clock. There's probably 40 people there.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good turnout, really.
Yeah. I walked in, I'm like, this is awesome.
Right.
I showed up like 7 minutes late because I was trying to get something to eat, where I got something to eat before, and they wouldn't give me my bill, and I'm like, we'll be late. But it's not like I haven't seen the movie like 10 times.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I've seen bits and pieces, but
you'd love it.
Oh man. But what else is going on? Let's see. We got Cool Spring coming. Oh, Dresden. Dresden's coming up this weekend.
Yep, the Country Crossroad Education.
We did a podcast with them last year.
Yeah, last year. Mm-hmm. That show is the same weekend every year as Cool Spring Fall Show.
Yep.
Kyle's going over Wednesday to Cool Spring. I'm
hoping to leave, if everything with work goes smooth, we're hoping to leave Wednesday afternoon and get out there Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
Spend some time out there Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday morning, Rachel's wanting to take the camper, so we're taking the camper out. So the idea is to pack it up Friday night, hitch to it Saturday morning, and shag ass to Dresden.
Yeah.
Hang out there for a while and either camp out in the parking lot or head home. We don't know yet.
Yeah, so the Dresden show is a neat show. I'll link the video. I'll link the video that I did of the show down there. But
it's just an awesome show.
For it being a family put together, volunteer put together show, it's got a old certified gas station. It's got a little train station. It's got a railroad that came from a munitions factory up in Wisconsin. They moved everything down. They've redone the railroad.
Since last year.
So when you was there last year, the flat cars had tractors on them.
Yeah.
Those are all redone now. They got all new floors on them. They got hand railing on them.
No kidding.
So that you can pretty much every car that's on there is a car that you can sit in now.
No kidding. That's awesome.
So they can haul more people at once. And then I was down there earlier this week. I went down one evening, and they made a platform, like a waiting platform. Yeah. It's, I don't know, probably 50, 60 foot long. And
it's all done by donations. And
it's all donation. Yeah. In the bottom of the mill, we poured concrete this year.
Okay.
Instead of being a dirt floor, it's all concrete now. And poured a pad for the sawmill that was there, trying to get the sawmill up and running. So
you'd bought a reed or something, and
I got a reed. I got a 15-horse reed I'm going to take down there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I knew it wouldn't be this year, but hopefully for next year's show, I got a reed power. Potentially.
Right.
I got a 15-horse reed. I got a clutch for it, and then I know where a building is. If I can get the building, I'm going to move it all there. And
that'd be awesome.
And I have a couple shackle line jacks. So whatever, scissor jacks or whatever they're called.
Grasshoppers.
Yeah. My mind's mush anymore.
It's all right.
Take them down there and set up a display of that, and then see where that goes from there. I mean, there's all kinds of. Same as you know where a bunch of stuff is.
Right.
You only have so much space, and they're nice because they kind of really don't care if it's related to something.
Right.
They bring it in and just set
Absolutely.
There's equipment. There's D6, D8 cable opters. There's a big Euclid cable op that's completely restored.
It's all working equipment.
And they have I don't know, about a football field sized area where they doze and run the pan, and they'll on Saturday they'll drop it about 3 foot, and then on Sunday they'll put all the dirt back and put it back up to whatever the level was. And like you said, it's donation. Like for the show, there's no mission; it's donation only. And then train rides are $1 a ticket, and then there's the Kid Digger, which is they've got an old John Deere tracked backhoe and then a little mini hoe. That you can just let your kid hop up on. Now they're supervised by somebody that's standing right there with them, but they can play with a little excavator or a little backhoe and dig a little hole. And
for a couple bucks, and
they do I think he said 10 or 15,000 people last year, and everybody there had at least 1 or 2 kids.
Right.
I mean, if you don't like children, I'd suggest don't go don't go there. Because you're going to be swarmed by them. But man,
I had fun. I mean,
it's a great time. There's a lot of stuff to look at there, and it's generational. It's been going on for 20 years at that location, and the location that it was at prior to that, up the road before the barn and the farm burned down, and they moved it. I don't know. There's probably 40 years worth of them doing stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, it's
no easy feat to put on a show like that.
No.
Luckily,
it's a big family.
Yeah, even Kyle Spring is starting to become more than I can handle.
I can imagine.
I want to enlist some helpers. Parking is our biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I always try to get somebody lined up for parking, and they always seem to be doing something else in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's hard if you're involved in that hobby. Like if it's somebody that's known by everybody, then you start to BS and things like that.
Oh yeah.
I helped with a car show earlier this year, and it was a small show. I had 80 cars show up.
Right.
It was a friend of mine that last year he did it, and he just kind of ran everything. He did all the awards and went around and picked the cars, and he tried to park everybody. And I seen him running around like a chicken with his head cut off last year. I'm like, hey man, if you need help, let me know.
Right.
And it was.
See,
it was a lifesaver for him because he got time to kind of do what he thought he needed to do, and I just stood there and went.
Well, I'm just to the point now. It's just like, the back of the big barn is going to be our larger engine area because we got our 50 horse in there. We got it set. It's not pinned. It's set. We got the Patton brothers moved around.
Yeah.
They're on concrete bases and everything. So the back of the barn, Chris Thornhill, he's going to kind of take over it.
Yeah.
And then the front of the barn, I'm going to find somebody to take care of it. And then Bob and Adam, they kind of take care of outside of the other barn.
Yeah.
And Adam kind of takes care of that. And Mike Lucius, he takes care of the foose stuff and, you know, that corner. And it really helps out tremendously. And then Mike's wife, Luann, she's, where are you from? What state? How many engines you got? She tries to keep the record of, just how many.
Who's from where?
Right.
Because there's
and then Brantley, he takes care of all the T-shirts and all that. That's just completely out of my hands. I said, here you go. You just take it.
That makes it nice.
Oh, it does. And then I can kind of run around and fill in the Knox. He's always there with the forklift, which is a huge help. Yeah. That's phenomenal. I mean, and he just does it by donation, which is, hey, that's his thing. We got the little forklift up front, but it's something it's a lot of work.
That's something I never thought of. It would be a thing. Would be like Johnny and Paul.
Yeah.
That bring their own equipment to like Cool Spring or Portland.
Yeah.
To just load and unload, and they're busy all day.
Mm-hmm.
The thing it is annoying that people think that service should be free.
It's not.
It's not. It's their own equipment.
Nope.
Yeah.
But hey, if it costs me $10-$20 to move something that's heavy, that's cheaper than the chiropractor and laying in bed for a week with Tylenol. Exactly.
I would rather pay it and be done with it instead of try to fight it up on there. It's like going to an auction, and a big determining factor on how much I'm hauling home with.
Exactly.
If there's a way to load it easy or not. Yep. I know Tom Winland, I've been to a bunch of auctions that either me and him's gone together or we've just been there at the same time, and somehow I get recruited when there's not a way to load. Like, hey buddy, can you help me? I bought all this stuff. Can you help me load it? I'm like, I was like, cut me a deal.
Well, that's where you need a crane on a trailer or something, and pull it up to the side. And bzz, bzz, bzz.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that's a crane truck right there.
Yeah,
that should be our auction getter.
The grapple truck that I bought, it'll lift. Well, I'm hoping it'll lift about 6,000 pounds.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I can do some damage.
Yep,
some good damage.
So it's kind of why I don't know if I want to get rid of it.
Right. Paid for.
Well, yeah, it's paid for, and it's only got like 100 and some thousand miles. It's a low mileage truck.
It don't matter if it has a million miles. Yeah. I mean, hey, if it's a handy tool, roll with it.
Well, that's a problem, because that's usually what happens. Is I buy stuff and say I'm going to resell it, and then it doesn't leave.
Well, I got a lot of that stuff too. I mean, I bought a few things this summer, and I get them home and I look at them and I start rubbing on them, and it's like the honeymoon's here, Like, I don't know. But you got to get rid of a few things in order to finance other things, That's just how it goes.
Yep, absolutely.
Now we got our fall swap meets coming up November 9th.
November 9th,
fall swap meet. Don't know what it's going to be, but had a guy ask me Thursday at Portland. He goes, "Can I bring my dog?" I said, "Your pet dog?" I said, "Yeah." I mean, he said, "Well, I seen on your flyer you don't want no animals." I said, "No, I don't want people selling animals."
Is there a reason that you had to put that on there?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a lady call or send me a message on the Facebooks, and she goes, "We have a bunch of chickens and goats." I said, "No, we're not selling chickens and goats at this.
It's not a farmer's market."
No, it's not. If you want to put a flyer out there say you got chickens, that's fine, but I don't want your chickens and goats running around.
Who's going to be your food vendor?
Mike's Concession.
The guy that was there last year?
Yeah.
Or earlier this year?
Yeah, well, he was there last year. He's this year too. He does us good. I think he got his ass handed to him back in the spring.
Yeah, he did. That was the reason I was asking.
But the fall should be a little bit better. But, his brother-in-law's,
Well, it was only him doing it.
So I know. Well,
hopefully he's got a little bit of help maybe.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's a 2 porta potty event, I think. So he should be okay.
Yeah.
Now, the spring show is a 4 porta potty event.
And is that how you determine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I think next year he's going to bring another trailer out and put it out to the west.
Oh, okay. So he has more than one.
Oh, he's got like 3 or 4 trailers. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, your show's gotten. How far does your property go back?
I think we go like 1,000 feet. It goes back there quite a ways.
It's encroaching.
Yeah.
On the total distance. Like you said, it's parking. I can understand parking being an issue for you because your lot's long. It's not narrow, but it's when you when you pack all them people in there, then it becomes like, wow, this is kind of a small space now.
That's all right. We'll figure it out. Just bear with us. Be patient. That's all it takes. Patience.
Yeah, I'd love to have a show here eventually, but I got.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I got buildings and all. It'll never be finished to the point that I think that
it never is.
I should just bite the bullet.
Never is.
Clean up and just invite people over and be done with it. I was at a nice little show. It was an invitation only show down at Gottschall's.
Okay.
Last weekend in September, I think, is when it was, and it was a nice little get together.
Yeah.
It a bunch of oil-filled engines,
right?
And I mean, to me.
Well, you don't live too far from here.
Yeah, it's a half hour, 40 minutes from here. Mm-hmm. But to me, part of my territory I cover for the railroad is where he lives.
I got you.
So I may or may not, if I'm in that neck of the woods, just like hop in and BS. So I've seen all of that stuff like hundreds of times. So like going down and watching, or watching everything run, I've done all that, and it was nice to get together and BS with a bunch of people that I usually only see at Cool Spring, and they're usually busy doing things at Cool Spring. So it was a nice change of pace to be able to sit and BS and talk just for more than 30 seconds at a time.
We went to a show over in Pendleton, Indiana. It was back in July. I don't know. It was recently. And the people over there was a whole different crowd of people.
Really?
Being close to Indianapolis, you can imagine.
Yeah, I lived in Indianapolis for a couple of years.
And but it was an awesome little show. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot there, but there was a good little bit for what it was, and we had a great time. I mean, it was at the Falls Park, and it was like their little ordeal. Like the town, it just kind of started at the Falls Park and went clear up through town. I mean, it was
really?
It was almost like 2 miles of vendors and stuff.
Wow,
craftsy stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, it was interesting. It took people watching to a whole new level.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, it was great. Seeing all kinds of stuff over there.
Yeah, some of the fun shows to go to are the ones that have like some craft or like kind of like a fair almost. It's a little bit of everything.
Yep.
The Algonquin Mill Festival's this weekend, and it's over towards.
You got me on that one. I've never heard of it.
Eastern Ohio, Columbiana.
Okay.
In that area, it's I think they got a car show and a craft show and engines and tractors. And if I wasn't covering for work this weekend, I would have went over yesterday with Dad. But it's a nice show. A lot of vendors show up.
Right.
And it's got a mill set up and some buildings, and it's kind of like a little village.
Right.
Like of just a bunch of old stuff, and
Absolutely.
then they have a show. Kind of real picturesque looking.
Right.
And I'd like to make it over to that. I've never been to it. Dad always talks about how nice it is.
How's he making progress on the Altman?
Slow.
Is he?
He talked to a couple guys. So here's where we're at. We got this Altman Taylor shaft drive steam engine, 16 horse. It's like one of two. And had a new firebox made for it. And we put on the outside wrap, put new steel in on the outside wrap, did a bunch of pad welding on it. And then we got to the point where we were pretty much ready for the firebox to go in, and some things happened and kind of got slowed down on doing that process, and it sat for about a year. Now we're looking to get back on it, and the guy that was helping do some of the welding, he's busy, and I think he had a surgery or something.
Right.
So now he likes to do other things, and he's helping other people that pay him,
right?
Instead of where we'd pay him, but not like
pizza.
He gets paid, but he enjoys working on the old stuff.
Right.
But, it's so much welding and things like that. He's like, I couldn't charge you what I'd actually charge.
Right.
So he likes, and it's a friend of Dad's. They went to school together. So he's 70 something. So where I was going with all that rant and ramble was, Dad called a couple weeks ago a couple guys that do boiler work, and we're thinking about seeing if one of them can work it in to take the firebox over and have the firebox put in, the stay bolts put in, and the bottom half of the barrel has it could be pad welded, but it's a lot of welding. And thinking about seeing if we can get somebody to either put a whole new barrel on it or just do a half barrel.
Right.
And once that's done, then me and Dad can put tubes in it. That's not a big deal.
Right.
He's got rollers, I got rollers. So putting tubes in it isn't a big deal. The cylinder's already done for it.
You picked that up at Cool Spring last year.
The cylinder's done. The piston's done. I got a handful of stuff that I need to take to have recast. Trying to think what else. Then it pretty much needs all new bearings poured.
Right.
So there's a couple years worth of work.
Yeah, well, yeah. But progress is progress, though.
The biggest, if the firebox was in it, we'd be working on the outside stuff, like the mechanical stuff. The mechanical stuff I can handle, but the boiler.
I don't know much about steam, but that seems to be the biggest thing.
Yeah,
right there.
The boiler stuff, and a lot of it is, Dad was around high pressure stuff all his life, so he's like the boiler side of it. He has like the knowledge. We just don't have the tools and the things like that.
Right. We
don't have the big taps to do all the stay bolts. We could go borrow that stuff. The closest guy that's got one is Stutzman up in Middlefield, Ohio.
Right.
He's like, yeah, you can borrow it, but if we're doing it, by the time that I haven't been able to do anything here at my own house this year, let alone going over there.
You can't slow them down when they do it for a living.
They like, yeah, you can borrow it, but we'll need it back. And I'm like, well, it'd take a year to. I forget how many, 56 stay bolts or something like that.
Right.
That's a lot of, So 56, and then you times that by 2 because you're going through the outside sheet and the firebox sheet.
Right.
So it's
how are those things held in there? It was like a piece of rod or something?
It's like all thread.
Okay.
The stay bolt was just like a big piece of all thread.
Okay, so you just run it from the outside in?
Yeah. Their taps are a reaming tap.
Okay.
And they're, foot and a half long.
Okay.
So you put your firebox in.
Okay.
Transfer punch all of your outside bolt holes onto the firebox. Pull the box out. Drill a small undersized hole.
Okay.
Put everything back in, and then put that tap in, and it'll ream the hole out the size it needs to be.
And then tap it.
And then it'll tap through the outside
of
the boiler wrap into the firebox. And then you insert your piece of all thread and your stay-bolt in. And then
peen it over or whatever.
Yeah, and then you basically peen it over. Now, like a lot of the new boilers, like if you have a new boiler made, I think just because it's code, they weld everything.
Okay. Inside and out.
Inside and out. That boiler's never been inspected by the state of Ohio.
Right.
So if we peen it over, it's not going to be a big deal as long as it doesn't leak.
Right.
And then there's a process called caulking.
Okay.
So the end sheet of the firebox on the outside comes off and on, to get the firebox in and out.
Right.
Once it goes in, you got, I don't know how many bolts or how many rivets go around that. It's a lot. You get all your rivets in, and then where the outside wrap and the end plate of the firebox meet, there's a process called caulking.
Okay.
And it's basically, you take the metal, the two pieces, and where the seam is, an air hammer goes around, and kind of forces everything together.
Okay.
And it's just a process called caulking. You'll do the outside of that, and then where the tube sheet is on the front, where the tube sheet meets on the boiler wrap, you caulk all the way around it.
Okay.
And all it is just like a rounded end that goes into an air hammer, and you just force metal into metal.
Okay.
Try to get a
so
better...
it seals it, yeah.
And the first time you fire up a boiler, they leak.
Okay.
Until they get a little bit of dirt and everything and all the little crevices and things like that. But the caulking process
helps it out
to help mitigate that.
Okay.
And then, you get whatever little bit of crud that's in your water when it seeps through there and everything rusts shuts, and then it becomes, it should be watertight.
Okay.
So... Yeah,
I don't follow the steam stuff a whole lot, so that's why I'm not.
I'm not an expert on it by any means.
Right. There's a lot of guys in my area that are into that.
I'm enough to be dangerous, and it's not safe to be dangerous with steam. So
right.
I consult the experts. That's why the other reason that thing's taken so long is Dad's overly precautious, and rightfully so.
Right.
Because he's used to working with supercritical steam, which is 1,000 some psi or higher.
Right.
So everything has to be tip-top shape, perfect. Yeah, this thing operates at like 110.
Right.
So not as critical, but still, it's still a big giant tea kettle, and
absolutely,
it could go boom. So
trying
to make it as 100% as possible. It'll be neat when it's done. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's going to be awesome when it's done.
Because they made 6, 8, 12, 16, and 20 horsepower versions of those. There's 120 horsepower. I don't believe it runs. There's 2 16s.
The bevel geared ones.
The bevel geared. Yeah. Bevel gear Altman Taylors. There's 2 16s.
Well, I think yours is a 16, right?
Yeah, it's a 16. There's one in Illinois or Indiana. Okay. Is the other one. I think is where it is.
Dan Cracker, he's got one, don't he?
He doesn't have a bevel.
Okay, I thought he did.
And then there's a couple 8s, a couple 12s.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It might not be a 6 horse. It might be 8, 12, 16, and 20. But anyway, there's like in total, there's only like 6 or 8.
Okay,
of all of them. So we lucked out and just kind of fell into that one.
Absolutely.
So, like some people do.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Some people have way more luck than I do.
Yeah. So.
They could be raining titties, I'd be hit with a dick.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. But no, we're looking forward to a good week here and future stuff. I mean, winter's coming on, and trying to get all my projects lined up, and I ain't had much time to work. My shop is a disaster right now. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, seen mine.
Well, I mean, I got packing peanuts laying everywhere because Bo just likes to play with packing peanuts, and he likes to hammer on stuff, and I'm like, oh, boy.
It's crazy how, like you said, time flies this year.
It does. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, I feel like I haven't got anything.
And I always thought these people said, I don't have time to do this because I get, the boys got to do this or that. And I'm like, oh, hell, man, you're crazy. And then here I am. I'm like, well, they were right.
Yeah. I would hate to think, I don't have any children, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this.
Oh,
there's no way.
I wouldn't change it for the world, but holy cow.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Fun, but
I can only imagine.
I've been working on a what the hell is that? A dirt bike. It's not a PW. It's a TTR 50.
Yeah.
My dad bought my nephew a dirt bike years ago when he was a little kid, and we inherited this dirt bike here recently. So it's seen a kind of a rough life. So I'm kind of fixing it up a little bit, and I put some training wheels on it and try to get Bowman on a dirt bike. So we'll see how that goes.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so. Keep him busy. Keep him on the front of the TV,
Yeah, keep him outside.
Yeah, I mean.
But he likes being out in the shop with you.
He loves being outside.
Every time I show up, he's got a construction site out in front of the garage.
Oh, yeah. That's his construction zone. Right in the middle of the way of everything. But right now we got a big pile of gravel sitting out there, so he's out there.
Yeah.
Give another week or so, the whole pile will just be scattered amongst the driveway. I won't have to touch it. That'd be great.
You can bring him up here and spread mine.
Yeah, I'll bring him up here for a week, and he just take care of him for a week. All you do is just feed him and make sure you use the bathroom.
Yeah, I hear you.
Just get one of those little rabbit waters. You can get up some water.
the little feeders in the rabbit cages.
Yeah, he'll be all right. I mean,
I got a large dog cage. He's
yeah, he'd be all right. Throw him some biscuits or something.
I think Rachel would like that too well.
Oh, no, probably not.
I think that's called child abuse.
I don't know about that, but no, it's a lot of fun. It's just been busy. That's all. We just, appreciate our listeners and people sticking with us.
Yeah, it's been a slow year, that's for sure.
Well, with this, it's been slow, but everything else has been fast.
Yeah, with this, like the Cool Spring, it took me a month to put that thing out.
Well, I mean, it's just life. I mean,
by the time
everybody understands that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna say 95% of our listeners understand.
Yeah. But, if you're motivated enough to be in the hobby to tear something apart and put it back together, you're right. I understand.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been watching them Brian Malloy videos, and he always says that howdy y'all. And I enjoy his videos.
I've watched a handful of them. I like his little. They're not real long, minute long or so.
Oh
yeah, minute, 3 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't do that short, like the short form content.
Right.
My mind to tell a story is too detailed to tell a story. And I can't condense something down to tell a story within like a minute.
There's a friend of ours down around the house. He's an older single guy and farmer, never been married, and all that stuff. He'll start at one story, and 14 stories later, he's coming back to try to finish the first story. Yeah. It's just like, we got shit to do. We got to go.
Yeah.
And he you don't like mean to him or nothing, but it's like, hey, Roy, we got some stuff we got to get done today.
He's one of those guys that's not long story short, it's short story long.
Yeah. But
what if you would have been able to get anything done this year? What did you want to do?
I wanted to finish the National Transit for Cool Spring. I'm close, but I'm not there. And then I really wanted to get my 8-horse Aetna put back together.
The one that had a cylinder made for?
Yeah. It's all laying there. Everything is laying there. It's just assembly, I still want to pull the flywheels and clean the bed plates and all that stuff. And I really wanted to do that this year, and it just hasn't happened yet. We've had some storms and, clean up the yard and mow the grass, and it's just everything else.
Luckily, speaking of mowing grass, we, in my neck of the woods, I don't know about yours, but we had a drought up here.
Oh, it was terrible.
I loved it.
Really?
I didn't have to mow.
Well, I understand.
I hate mowing grass.
It was so damn hot and just dry.
I hate mowing grass. Now, that's the other thing with, this year it was so freaking hot.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to go outside and do anything.
Well, it's just like we set the Fairbanks in back in, it was before, all right around Portland swap meet time.
Yeah.
But that barn is literally like an oven.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, there's no insulation or nothing in it. It's just, we've been wanting to get out there and work on it. I was like, man, it's over 100 degrees out there. I said, I ain't going in, no.
Yeah, anything, I can do about 85. If it's outside 85 degrees, if it gets above that, I'm not a big guy, but man, I start sweating like crazy. I've never been like that, and I don't want to.
It's like, what, 69 or 70 out right now? It's like
it feels
beautiful.
Great.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it feels great.
It's like I'm gonna go home, and I got a little oomph to get some stuff done today. So
that's kind of my thoughts too. Is I got woke up at 5 a.m. with work with some issues. We had a locomotive catch on fire.
Oh boy!
And so I've been up dealing with that since 5, and I've been wanting to get my clock reset because I had been going out. The majority of the guys that work for me that I kind of have to keep track of work from like 4 p.m. to like 4 a.m.
Right.
So I just kind of do like an afternoon thing.
Right.
And I'm on vacation this week, so I kind of wanted to reset my clock.
Absolutely.
Well, I wouldn't plan on getting up at 5 a.m. today. I had my clock set for
5 a.m.
for like 8.
You can get a lot of stuff done, between 5 and 8 a.m.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. I got up. I wasn't tired. I'm like, I'm just going to stay up and just start this process, especially with me being on vacation.
I have a little alarm clock. His name's Bo, and it's like 5:15. Rachel at least work at 4:30 because she works 6 to 6. So she'll leave work 4:30, 4:45, and then so like as soon as she leaves, he's like, "Daddy, it's time to get up." I'm like, "Dude, all right, here we go.
Whatever,
get the day going."
Yep.
But no, I mean, I like to get up early and get some stuff done, and it normally don't happen that way, but it's how it is.
My job, it keeps me 24/7. So.
Yeah. Well, that's like I could have a call in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Have to go too.
Yep. Exactly.
We work with a towing company there, and it's I love working with those guys because they're all easygoing and good people to work with, but when they need you, they need you.
Yeah.
So I always try to leave the truck sitting in the shop out there with a dumpster on it, and therefore I can just 15 minutes to the shop and I can be just about wherever they're at within 40 minutes. Yeah.
Is that kind of your radius? You try to stay within an hour?
Yeah, roughly. I mean, we only cover like a 60-mile radius, but if they need me to go wherever, I'm flexible.
Yeah.
But they're good. They're great to work with. You always kind of get you got them people you always work with that's just like, I got to work with this guy today, or we're doing this today with so and so, and this is like these people call. It's like, hey, let's go.
Yeah. There's
just no bullshit. And plus, I like watching. They got some big rotator wreckers.
Yeah,
those things are amazing. I mean, they're mind blowing. I mean, they semis that are flipped upside down. They just
pick them up and rotate them in the air.
Yeah, and just set them right down. It's just that's awesome.
I'll have to show you some videos when we have a derailment at work. We get the big RJ Corman company.
Yeah.
They'll come in with their big cats that are pipe layers.
Yeah.
We call them sidewinders, but they're just big pipe layer cats. And they'll bring them things in, and they'll take a rail car that's loaded and just and then lift it and set it back down. And we, as the guy, it's the railroad.
Right.
I hate seeing derailments. It's like my job to prevent that.
Right.
But it's awesome watching it when they show up.
Oh, yeah.
We're all general manager down, where it's just like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do that, like, once.
Right.
Like, just play with it.
Well, it's like them. Yeah, the guys they got this rotator. It's I think it's like 100-ton. It's massive. It's a truck. It's a Kenworth truck. It's got twin steer.
I was going to say, it's got the dual steel fronts. Yeah.
When that baby runs out, it's just like, you want to put on the boom, like when that boom comes out, like this just got expensive.
Yeah.
But those guys, I mean, they'll have remote controls, and they'll have 2 or 3 trucks hooked to that one accident, and they'll flip that sucker over, and it's just like it's just like a synchronized dance,
Yeah, it's interesting. That's the same way with watching Corman and their stuff.
Yeah.
They have headsets on. I'm sure they're the same as the trucks. They got headsets on, and everybody that's on that crew, it's working around the dozer. You got a dozer operator, everything's hand signals, or they're on the headset talking to each other.
Well, that's what H.R. Holt, riggers there in Brookville, when they're rigging a piece of equipment, they all got headsets on, and it's just like, hey, this is how we're going to do this.
You just stay out of their way.
Yeah. When Dad and I go in and, scrap out a factory or something, we're, hey, a bunch of hillbillies in there, and we used to use the Nextels.
That push to talk.
Yeah, that was the greatest thing ever, and they did away with that, and then now it's just kind of like, hey, dumbass, don't kill me.
Yeah.
I've had a couple close calls. Dad damn near squished me a couple times. This one time we was moving this machine out of a factory there in Dayton, and I don't know, it was a big tall thing, and I was laying on the floor with a pipe wrench trying to disconnect some stuff, and he just come up with the forklift, hit it, and it fell like within 6 inches of my head. I'm like,
ooh.
Like I started crying. I was that scared. Like it scared me to death. And then this girl with big old boobies come and
made you feel better?
"Are you okay?" I'm like, I can be okay. This was years ago, but I'm like, it scared Dad. I mean, we basically just kind of shut down for a little bit, and it's like
take a break.
Yeah, I smoked cigarettes at the time. I was out there just like hammering them, and he says, "Well, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't see you there." I'm like,
you need a near-death experience at least once a year.
Yeah, well, once in a lifetime is good enough for me. But
apparently mine are too frequent.
Apparently, yes, apparently.
I fell down into the river and screwed my right leg up earlier this year, so it's kind of got me slowed down.
Oh man.
Right. Well, it was July.
Right. And I fell out of the trackhoe and stuff this year. It's been a hell of a year. 200
pounds landing on my right leg.
Oh.
Sprained my ankle. I was surprised it didn't break it. Sprained my ankle, and I'm pretty sure it screwed my knee up because they haven't quit hurting since.
Right.
And I'm too stubborn to go to the doctor.
Right.
I went and got x-rays to make sure it wasn't broken. That was about the extent of me.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So now I just hobble around and eat ibuprofen like M&Ms.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
It'd be all right.
Yeah, well.
But, I guess that's about it. I mean, you guys caught up on our lives, and we like to try to catch up on yours too, and if
you see us,
see us, say hi.
See us at Cool Spring, say hi. If you're at the Dresden show, say hi.
If you're coming to Kyle Spring, say hi.
Yeah,
I'll probably be running around there a little bit busy. But if I don't say hi or something to you, don't take it personally.
He's in the zone.
Yeah.
Hopefully this winter, when things slow down,
yes,
we can kind of get our thoughts together.
Yep.
Have some episodes where we
talk to some people.
Yeah, talk to some people. Maybe I wouldn't say scripted, but maybe have a topic to cover instead of kind of bouncing all over the place.
We just wanted to get together and make sure you guys know we're still here.
Yeah, we enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
we just can't get together to do it.
Yeah, I mean it's a 2-hour. Let's see, I left at 7:40 this morning.
Yeah, you texted me about 7:40, 7:45.
I was pulling up the driveway, stopped at the old McDonald's and got me a coffee. And
said you had to get coffee.
Yep. And I got here, about 10 till 10.
Yeah.
So.
Gave me time to get everything set up.
Yeah, I'm hoping to tear everything down, get everything packed up and ready to go.
Yep, have to load it up for the old Cool Spring.
Yep, but we appreciate everybody tuning in, and hopefully it gives you a little something to listen to, and looking to have a good time at Cool Spring. I'm looking forward to it. I love the fall show out there. It's just laid back.
It's nice. Like he says, the trees are starting to change.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Usually the weather's, if it rains, it's not much.
Right.
It's usually not a muddy mess. It's not like,
springtime where it can be.
Springtime
Yeah.
can be about anything.
And speaking of rain, we have a lot of friends down North Carolina.
Yeah.
Tennessee, in that area. Man, you guys are just hanging there. I've seen some videos and stuff that they're using rail cars.
Yeah.
The good old boys, they're taking care of their own down there, and it's awesome. They're using these rail cars. They're just like, hey, we got a rail car. We're going to build a bridge.
Yep.
Like, hey, let's do it.
I was surprised. I had a guy. I had a butcher block cart I posted for sale, and the guy that called me went through the hurricane.
Oh wow!
And he goes, "Yeah, we survived, and I don't really need this. I can't make it up to Cool Spring to pick it up because I can't leave. But
right,
because I want it.
Right, right.
Wow, I'm glad you made it.
Well, Mike and Luann, they were out of the water for 2 weeks or whatever, and
really,
the river down there, Greenville, Tennessee, gets their water out of the river.
Oh, okay.
They pump it up and process it, or however they do it, and then they distribute it to everybody. And the bridges were just washing away. It's terrible, and for anybody to take light of the situation, it's bullshit because it's serious down there.
I seen it was either a video last night or this morning I seen on Facebook where they were showing where the river rerouted, and I was looking at aerial. I follow that Cletus McFarland on YouTube, and he's got a helicopter, and he went up there like 2 days after it happened, and he was flying around, and you could see the landscape where the river was,
right,
and where it had moved over to, and went, it was washed roads out and buildings and houses like that, and then somebody had taken one. I think it might have been his video that I'd watched, and they had his video, and they were taking stills from it and taking Google Earth images and showing before and afters. And it was unreal. I'm like, in a span of 24 hours or something like that. Where the rivers moved, it moved all the loose dirt, and the only thing that was left was the big boulders that looked like that river had been there for a millennium.
Right.
I'm like, holy moly, that's a lot of water to do that.
Yeah, I don't get politics or nothing involved, but they need to do something down there.
Yeah, well, yeah, not impressed.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, like you said, the good old boys will take care of themselves. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be like
those
that.
Those are some people you do not want to mess with Appalachia.
No, I'm on the foothills of Appalachia, and it gets a little redneck around here.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm just out in the middle of a cornfield. It's like everybody's like, "Oh, there's a guy from Illinois called me on the way here. He goes, is there anything to do around there?" I said, "Well, we got corn."
Yeah.
I said, "No, I said Dayton's a few miles away, but yep." But yeah,
does he like cat? I hear they eat cats in Dayton.
No, that's Springfield. But
Springfield.
Let me tell you what, that's a whole nother topic. You don't believe it until you see it. Put it that way.
That's something else.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a strange time to live in.
It's a scary time to live in, but
it has been a strange year. It's been super hot. Had a drought where I live.
Yep.
We haven't had a tornado in 40 years. We had 2 this year.
Oh, we've had all kinds of tornadoes around us.
We had 2 tornadoes. One went right down the center of town. The one before that went and skipped hilltop to hilltop.
My gosh.
I've seen the northern lights twice. I went to Alaska in 2019 to see the northern lights.
You can see them right here.
And I watched the ones that were here in, I think, May.
I've seen those.
Just trumped them.
Right.
It was so much better than going all the way up. I'm like, well, if I'd known that.
Right.
And then last Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Thursday, I watched them again.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck?
I mean, I think we're a little bit further south than you are here, but not by much. But it was an awesome light show. You know? But
yeah, it was. The one in May was incredible because I was in here working, putting the motor back together and heading into the house about 10 o'clock, and I walked outside. I'm like, why is the sky bright?
Right.
I forgot that it was going on because I wasn't expecting to see it.
Right.
And I looked back in the hayfield, and it was green and red and purple, and it was like just bright as day. And I'm like, holy crap!
Right.
I stayed out till like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I drove home. I drove home from Rochester.
Okay.
That morning, did that whistle blow up there for work, and had been up since like 5. And then I got home, and a friend came over, and we had a motor we was putting back together for his brother's car or something like that. And he was getting ready to leave, and I walk outside, and I started jumping up and down like an idiot.
Right.
He doesn't get excited. And I'm like, look. And he goes, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he got his phone out and started recording. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. If you think this is interesting, it's definitely interesting.
Right.
So,
but no, we wish everybody happy and well, and hope everybody's doing good and hanging in there, and safe travels to wherever we see you next.
Yep, hopefully see some of you at Cool Spring. Like I said, I'll be there Thursday for certain and part of Friday.
Yep.
I got to get back because I help with that show here in Dresden.
Yep.
I'll be back on Friday. I'll be at your show.
Swap meet.
The swap meet, whatever.
Swap meet.
I'll be at your swap meet because I got that little dish pan I got to deliver.
Yeah.
And then maybe some other stuff I push for sale. I got enough crap laying around. I need to thin the herd a little bit.
I need to do the same.
Just, again, time.
Yeah. Honeymoon things.
Yeah.
You know. How much do I love it?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I got, it was 5-horse carcasses for the Hercules. I bought them because I wanted to make a tank-cooled one.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if I'll get to it, so.
I got an idea sitting here. I don't know if you guys can see them. 5-horse, that'd be kind of cool. Scoot that one forward, remove the center flywheels, hook the cranks together, and have an opposed or a twin cylinder.
Yep, you gave me an idea.
There you go. Till next time.
Yeah, till next time. Go out and get your hands dirty.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.